It's horrible. And I couldn't get out. The thing was strong. Shoot the heck out of me. You can feel that. You can go on the fish. Yeah, when we were diving, there was a water clear like was it 18 feet? 16 feet.
16, yeah.
16.
Got the boogie. Got the boogie. I'm a boogie monster. Yeah, I'm a boogie.
So jealous.
Now, did any of y'all recognize that name, Johnny Weissmuller?
Tarzan.
Yeah, he was the first Tarzan. He was also an Olympic swimmer. He had several gold medals. He was friends with the grandson of the Rogers family. They actually built this building here. It was a luxury hotel. And he came out here as a college student in the 1940s. And he actually came out here with some of his friends on a flat bottom boat. He carved out the center and put in a glass pane. That was the humble beginnings of the glass bottom boat tours here. And that boat, for authenticity's sake, is still here today. It's that blue top boat down there. We still use it today. That's our 1945 boat. Now, Johnny Weissmuller is actually good friends with this grandson that started the glass bottom boat tours here. And he came out here later in his life on one of these boat tours. Now, unknown to the driver and the visitors that day, he was actually getting ready to
That like fish. The one we dive, we have a lot of fish. The water. Yeah.
kind of looks like bubbling cream of wheat down there, doesn't it?
That's cool.
Man.
So each one of these little springs maybe puts out 5 to 10 gallons a minute. You know, not much compared to that Johnny Weissmuller spring. But collectively, I mean, there's several hundred springs here, so they all together put out a lot of water. This is also where the San Marcos River, before this whole lake was dammed up, had its humble beginnings. It actually started from these springs here and would flow downstream. And what we're going to actually go over up here is the old river bottom where the San Marcos River flowed. You actually see here, it's a little bit rocky. It looks more like a river bottom than the rest of the lake. Part of the lake, because down here, there's both high and low pressure springs, and the high pressure springs almost look like cave openings with how big they are.
These fishes.
Now this rock shelf you actually see down here below us where those spring openings are, believe it or not, that is a fault line directly below us here. This is a crack in the earth that about 60 million years ago cracked all this land open and opened up the aquifer. And that's why we have springs here in central Texas. All of the major spring systems, the ones down in San Antonio, Barton Springs up in Austin, Comal Springs, and New Braunfels are all tied to this fault line we're looking at right here in the middle of the lake. Now I encourage y'all to, if after the boat tour, we actually have over here in the wetlands area, you can kind of see it, a wetlands boardwalk, where you can actually walk out on the wetlands and see a lot of water, and that created major problems for the foundations and everything, and it was hard for Ocarina Springs to keep itself alive with that. It also was facing in the 1990s competition from SeaWorld, Six Flags down in San Antonio. I mean, those are major mass tourism venues, and they couldn't really compete with them for people they had relied on before that. Now, Ocarina Springs here, in spite of these troubles, had some quite remarkable rides here. One being over here, a Swiss sky ride that actually take people over the lake in a glass globe gondola ride and take them over to the hillside. They can see pretty much everywhere in the lake. Quite an amazing thing to have. And one of their most spectacular rides is actually located over here on the right, we'll be passing by the cove. You'll see kind of a concrete wall. Right now, you know, come back up to the surface where they don't have to worry about the boat tourists being over them. But at the time of the theme park, this area over here was the home of an underwater submarine theater. The submarine itself was actually kind of shaped like this, kind of a bent U, and would fit into this cove here. And like it says, its name implies, it was a theater that could take about 300 people inside of it and take them all underwater. There's actually an amphitheater underwater right there. And divers would dress up as clowns, aquamaids, mermaids, and have an underwater performance for them there. They also had one of their main mascots, Ralph the Swimming Pig, that actually do some laps around the pool there. You wouldn't have to worry about it coming up and biting you because you're not on its menu. You'd only have to worry about biting you if you're actually trying to reach out and grab it. It wouldn't really like that very much. But they're very cool fish to hang around by because they're what we call ambush predators.
It's very hot.
So they were.